Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we peek behind the curtain of big business. And today we're really going to decode some serious money movement. Stick around because Western Union's latest 10K filing is packed with some wild swings and a forward-looking strategy. That sounds straight out of a tech startup, but from a company that has been around forever. Before we dive deep into the numbers, if you are all about understanding what makes companies tick and don't want to miss out on these breakdowns, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. And hey, we've got a great community over in our Discord, linked in the description below, where we talk all things finance and business strategy. Come join the conversation. I want to start by saying that Western Union is making some big moves, especially in how they plan to handle money in the digital age. They're talking about launching something called a US dollar payment token, or USDPT for short. Think of it as a digital dollar, a stable coin, basically a cryptocurrency designed to be super stable because it is backed by actual dollars. They're aiming to make it available through crypto exchanges and even use it for faster payments between Western Union and its agents. This is huge because it shows they are not just sticking to their old ways, but are actively trying to innovate and be part of the digital currency revolution. It is a bold step for a company that is traditionally known for its brick and mortar agent locations. On top of that, they're planning a digital asset network to let crypto exchanges connect with Western Union's money transfer services, allowing people to get cash payouts at Western Union locations. This really signals a major pivot towards a digital-first future. This acquisition of International Money Express Inc. is another big piece of the puzzle. They're dropping about $500 million for it. Intermex is a major player in money transfers, especially between the US and Latin America and the Caribbean. This move is all about strengthening their presence in key corridors and likely integrating it into their broader digital and omnichannel strategy. Now let's talk about the numbers themselves. Western Union's total revenues for 2025 came in at about $4.05 billion. That is actually a drop of around 4% compared to 2024. On the surface, that might sound concerning, but it is important to dig a bit deeper when you strip away the impact of foreign currency fluctuations, which is super important for a global company like this whose transactions happen in tons of different currencies. Their adjusted revenues only dropped by about 5%. This means the core business itself saw a slight dip, but it's not as dramatic as the headline number suggests. Looking at their main income generator, consumer money transfer revenue here saw an 8% drop. The biggest hit seems to be in North America with an 11% revenue decrease. They blame this on various factors, including fewer active agent locations and some price reductions to stay competitive. However, this segment is still the powerhouse, making up 87% of their total revenue. On the flip side, their consumer services segment is showing some serious growth. Revenues here jumped by a massive 32%, reaching $543.3 million. This segment includes things like bill payments and travel money services. A big chunk of this growth comes from their acquisition of Eurochange Limited, which helps them with travel money, and also from their cash. Base bill payments in Argentina, where inflation has been pretty wild but is now slowly calming down. This shows their diversification strategy is starting to pay off. When it comes to expenses, total expenses actually went down by about 5% to $3.29 billion. This is a good sign they're spending less overall. For instance, selling, general, and administrative costs dropped by 14%. This is partly due to lower advertising costs and reduced employee compensation, including incentive pay. This shows they are being more disciplined with their spending, which is generally a good thing for profitability. And what is the bottom line from all this? Operating income actually saw a slight increase of 4%, reaching $757.3 million. This is a positive trend, meaning they're managing their expenses well even with slightly lower revenues. Now, for something really interesting in the tax line in 2024, they received a huge tax benefit of over $300 million, mainly due to a settlement with the IRS and some international tax restructuring. This significantly boosted their net income in that year. For 2025, their tax provision was much more normal, but these big off-tax benefits in prior years made a significant difference in their reported net income trends. Scroll Basic weighted average shares outstanding 326.6 million share repurchases have been going on. The number of shares outstanding has been decreasing, which means they are buying back their own stock. This can be a good sign, showing confidence in their own value. And it can also boost earnings per share by making the profit stretch across fewer shares. But it is not all smooth sailing. Western Union operates in a heavily regulated world, and they are facing significant risks from these regulations. They're talking about pretty strict laws for detecting and stopping money laundering, terrorist financing, and all sorts of illicit activities. These rules are constantly changing. and keeping up with them adds a lot of cost and complexity to their business. Plus, they've had to deal with some major consent agreements and settlements with regulators in the past, and they acknowledge these have impacted their business and will likely continue to do so. This is a huge area of focus for them, and any misstep here could be very costly. And then there is cybersecurity. They collect and handle a massive amount of personal data from customers all over the world. A breach of their security systems, or those of their agents and partners, could lead to huge fines, lost customer trust, and serious damage to their reputation. They've stated that while they haven't had any material breaches historically, the threat is constantly evolving, and they are investing heavily in protecting this data. This is a critical risk for any company handling sensitive financial information. Let's touch briefly on their leadership and compensation. The filing details their long-term incentive plans, which include stock options and performance-based rewards for top executives, including stock options and restricted stock units. These are tied to financial performance and total shareholder return, meaning executive pay is directly linked to how well the company does. Their CEO Devin McGranahan has been leading the charge in pushing this digital-first strategy. So, what is the story here? Western Union is clearly at a crossroads. They are facing declining revenues in their core money transfer business, largely due to market shifts and intense competition. However, they are showing impressive growth in their consumer services segment and are making significant investments in digital innovation, including stablecoins and partnerships with crypto exchanges. The acquisition of Intermex also signals a move to consolidate and strengthen their position in key remittance corridors. They're also actively managing costs and have achieved some operational efficiencies. Despite the current revenue dip, their strategic pivot towards digital financial services and the potential of a USDPT could be game changers. The regulatory and cybersecurity risks are very real and require constant attention and significant investment. But if they can successfully navigate these challenges and execute their digital transformation, Western Union could redefine itself for the next era of financial services. It is a company that is making some bold bets to stay relevant in a rapidly changing world. Alright, that is our deep dive into Western Union's latest filing. What do you think of their digital currency strategy and their acquisition plans? Will it be enough to revive growth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis valuable, please give this video a thumbs up, it really helps the channel. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more deconstructions of corporate filings. Don't forget to join our Discord community. The link is in the description for more in-depth discussions and to connect with fellow curious minds. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.